Okay. First of all, this falls under the free use clause of the DMCA due to education and entertainment clauses or sub-clauses of that act. Okay, so I've tried something new here today. I've cobbled together a couple of content providers that are talking about the same topic, and the topic is the passport bros. Now, the first content provider is the Filipina P, and I've got a link to her or this particular video in the comment section. So what I've done is I've cut out her responses to these mainly TikTok clips or little clips from women bitching about the passport bros. Her replies are worth having a look at. She's quite a funny entertainer, and she's got some good content on her site regarding the Philippines. And the other content provider I'm referencing here is Just Pearly Things, where they're actually talking about the Filipina P video that I've clipped this stuff out of, and getting the viewpoint of the Western women on the panel. So without further ado, let's have a look at some of these clips from these Western women.
Passport bros go to third world countries and purchase little girls and turn her into a breeding mare. They're little girls, you're sick.
Well, yeah, this is typical from the land whales, I guess, you know. Whatever. The little girls, you're sick. That doesn't actually happen. I can tell you. That you don't purchase little girls in Asia, you know, or South America, I should imagine. They're all women, and they're, I would say, mainly, I don't know, maybe a third to maybe a fourth or fifth smaller than this land whale, generally speaking. I mean, you know, like she's got to be close on 150 kilos, you know. Most of the Asian women that you meet would be able to roll across her about 3 or 4 times before they reach the other side, you know. So I guess from her point of view, they are little girls, but not in age.
Black women, are you ready? Apparently there's a group of, you guessed it, black men who have grown weary of the, quote, control that black women have over them. So they've decided to seek dominance elsewhere, and that's in the form of traveling to third world countries to seek a bride. What's at play here is that these dusty, mediocre at best so-called men have finally come to the realization that black women are no longer willing to settle for the bare minimum and are choosing to stay single and maintain their peace. If divesting to desperate and disenfranchised women is so great, why do you all have to make an announcement, a grand announcement? Oh, I know why. Because you actually think that this will hurt black women. So, sayonara, arrivederci, adios.
I don't know, this one sounds really, really disturbed, you know. They're going out to seek dominance over the women in the East. Boom, boom. You know, diverging to disenfranchised and desperate women. Okay, and they're all dusty and mediocre so-called men. You know, I mean, this is a classic example of why the men are running. This, you just, oh my God, what the fuck have I struck here? See ya. And as far as it's just, I mean, disenfranchised women in the East. I would, get her out into the East and let her actually see what she's talking about. But the problem is, if she came here to Thailand, no one would want to have anything to do with her. The Thai men wouldn't want to have anything to do with her, and neither would the Thai women. They're just, that kind of attitude over here just doesn't wash. They're not interested in it here at all. I mean, it's dark. It's really dark, I think. Ooh. And why do men have the audacity to declare their departure? Could it be that they just want to hurt the women more? Well, no, it may actually be that they're communicating to the men and saying to the other guys, look, come east, it's fantastic over here. Get your passport and get the hell out of the country and meet some real women. Could be that. It may not have anything to do with the dominatrixes they're leaving behind. Who knows? Find out for yourself.
I am not mad about black men getting their passports and paying to play overseas. I just truly want to help these men to see logic and reason. A man that's looking to marry a foreign woman went to an event wearing a top hat. Brother, are you serious? You look ridiculous. And you're clearly undesirable, but I'm sure that you've blamed black women for your lack of what it takes to attract them. But you want to go overseas where women are unaware culturally of your nature and pay them to pretend while you give them nothing but money and a wet behind. They aren't marrying these women. The men in this movement are largely undesirables or men that want to use a woman freely without her giving any pushback.
No, I'm not mad that certain men have decided to go out of the country looking for their next victim. I'm completely okay with that.
I'm not mad. I am not mad. I'm not mad. No, madness is not me. I'm not mad. These undesirable men who wear top hats to, are you kidding me? They're these poor, ignorant women that you're going to meet in the East have no idea about your culture and who you are as men and what you want. But I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Actually, sweetheart, you see the women in the East, they actually learn to speak English and German and French and Norwegian. And these are all women I've met. They speak all these languages, and they do so because they want to meet the foreign men, you see, and they want to be able to talk to them. And when they learn the languages, they learn the cultures. They learn all about the cultures. All right? So, you can take your... I'm not mad. How many languages do you know, sweetheart? Have you ever experienced an Eastern culture? Love? But don't be mad, okay? You're not mad. I know you're not mad. You're not mad. Okay. You can handle it. You're not mad.
Passport bros are dehumanizing women to the point of basically being used for their uterus and domestic capacity. The passport bros want to put them to work in the bedroom and the home.
Oh, we're dehumanizing women. Well, it's hardly surprising, us, the men, these deadbeat men, the dusty men that are fleeing the dominatrixes in the West. Dehumanising these poor innocent women, of course, to a large extent. That's what men do, naturally, But I think to suggest that that you're putting the women to work in the bedroom, that's hard. That's a hard one to justify that one, because there's absolutely no work involved. Well, for the men, and most of the Eastern women family oriented. You see, that's the trouble. That's what Western women don't really get, is that these Eastern women, they're brought up with family values. The ones I know here, they know about contraceptives. They know all about contraceptives. They just can't see any point in using them. That's what you get as a man over here. It can be quite tiring, I've got to admit. The girl will pop home at lunchtime for a quickie and bring your lunch in a little box, a little insulated box. She'll bring you your lunch and have expect a quickie or two before she goes back to work. That's a typical scenario for a man in the East. So she'll cook your dinner and want something else as well. It can be quite tiring to be a man in the East, believe me. Okay.
But you have to understand, a lot of us, 46, be 47 soon, each day that goes by makes me more grateful that I'm divorced. I thank God every day that I'm divorced. If you want to get your passport and go overseas, you're welcome to it. Bye. I mean, maybe there you'll find women who are okay with being treated like doormats. I don't know.
Oh, look, we're too busy dehumanising the women to treat them like doormats, for crying out loud. Give us half a chance. Christ almighty. And it's a good thing that you're 46 going on 47 and divorced. You've made the right life choices there. Got yourself exactly where you want to be, single and 46. Well done. Congratulations on that one, you strong, independent woman, you. And don't worry about us passport bros, okay? We're not even looking back when we're not even giving you a wave, sweetheart. Okay, enjoy your birthday there on your own. Are you going to have one candle or two on that cupcake? And what about the leftovers? Are you going to give them to the cats? Enjoy, sweetheart. Enjoy.
Passport bros are nothing but a bunch of pedophiles who's traveling across the world to get young girls. It's pedophilia tourism.
Oh, I don't know. That word rolls off your tongue pretty easily there, Butterball. Where are you getting this? Where are you coming from on this one? Is it jealousy or are you outraged? Because it doesn't look like you're outraged, mate. A little bit suspect, aren't you? A little bit sus. I'll keep well away from you, I think.
It's 2022. You're talking about a freaking passport. I've had one of these since I was 2. Y'all were acting like they just came up with these in 2022. I'm gonna go over and get me a woman, be able to abuse her. Ain't nobody gonna do. Do y'all understand how people feel about Americans? That just goes to show you ain't been nowhere. So y'all think y'all gonna run your broke asses over to other countries and they go, oh, these some black kings from America. Most people don't like Americans. They think that we are overrated. They think that we're better than everybody else. They don't like us. They don't like us. They sure not gonna like you if they know that you're getting your passport so you can come over there and abuse their women. That as a black man, if you want to roll up in some of these other countries and try to abuse their sisters and their daughters and their nieces and their mothers and taking them out, toe tagging 4.5 of them a day, you know what's going to happen. You're going to get hacked up with a machete.
We're going to go and abuse the foreign women. Just stop abusing the domestic women, go overseas and see if you can abuse some women over there. And watch out for the machetes. Oh, Jesus. But, the thing is, Americans are generally, you got to say, there are some people, obviously, in all countries who don't like foreigners. You're going to get that in all cultures. But I think Americans are generally well liked in Southeast Asia. Certainly in Thailand, you can come to Thailand and have a great time in the tourist spots in Thailand. Now, the Thai culture, the Thai people generally like a lighter coloured skin. For whatever reason, it's their culture, so I don't judge them. But they prefer light-skinned over a darker skin. So, however, I do know of a Thai lady here who's married to an African American man, and she's very happy, and so is he. So Thai women will marry for love, and that's one of the only cultures in the world I know of where women will do that. Cambodia, just across the border over that way, just across those hills in the distance. They're very similar culture to Thailand, but they run on the American dollar over there, and they drive on the same side of the street, and most of the cars are American. The Americans do very well in Cambodia, and they've got very good visa regulations there. It's very easy for Americans to go and move to Cambodia. I've met quite a few pommies over there as well, Englishmen. Myanmar just opened up to tourism, so maybe the infrastructure may not be there, but it's another similar culture to Thai culture, so that would be worth a look. Vietnam, it's got some hangovers from the Vietnam War. Just be aware of that. If you end up in a rough pub in the dark part of Vietnam, things can get rough pretty quickly. Even if you're in a group of young men, they're still having babies over there affected with Agent Orange, the birth defects and whatnot, spina bifida, all that kind of thing. So, and there's landmines that they're losing their arms and legs to. So it's there's some bad feeling toward foreigners in general, not just Americans, but in Vietnam. And as far as China goes, I don't recommend going to China. You don't want to get onto their databases. The Chinese women are beautiful and they can cook, crazy cook, but I wouldn't recommend it. And Japan, Japanese women tend not to like foreigners for relationships, but they do, like the Japanese people like foreigners. They emulate foreigners, they look up to them, but it's a difficult culture to understand, Japanese culture. But yeah, if you want to come to Thailand, just have a good time in the bars. Don't think you're going to meet the love of your life in a bar in Thailand, though. Okay, don't make that mistake. That's not going to happen. But you've also got South and Central America, so I don't know too much about that. I've heard good things about Chile. That might be worth a look. It's a bit further south than what I see most passport bros going to, but check it out. And enjoy. Grab your passports and get going. Nothing to stop you. Nothing going to hold you back. And you're not going to go and abuse the women. You don't need to. There's, you go and find out what they're like. You'll be amazed.
Is how do you not feel slimy and disgusting as a person, knowing full well that you are going to another country seeking out women that you perceive as easier to manipulate, easier to control, and easier to take advantage of? And even if you do find some poor woman that needs a green card, wants to move to the US, or needs money, that's still not love. So on that note, safe travels, and I hope that you and all the other passport bros get exactly what you're looking for.
Control and manipulate. women, you know, and you feel sleazy and slimy. I think this woman, I'm just guessing, but I think this land whale here, she probably works somewhere without air conditioning, you know, and she gets that slimy feeling from time to time, I think. Oh, Jesus. Gonna go and manipulate and control and dominate these Asian women. If you think you're gonna come over here and do that to women, you got a fucking wake-up call coming, because that ain't gonna happen. It's just not. The women, right, they're the most feminine women you can meet, I think, in Thailand. They're just unbelievably delightful women. But if you think that you're going to get them to do anything that they're not wanting to do, you just, it ain't going to happen. I mean, you just, and the thing is that there won't be any fighting or fussing or snapping or carrying on at all. It'll be all handled in the most like, it's hard to describe, but you can, like, if you're upfront and you just discuss what you want with your woman and she's okay with it, you know, and you tell her what you want her to do to achieve the goal, there's no problem. But if you think you're going to come and tell them what to do and make them do things that they don't want to do, then it's like it's like a very soft brick wall that you're going to meet. Okay, you're not going to know what's happened, but nothing that you've wanted to get done will get done. It's just an incredible thing. But you know, as long as the woman of your dreams wants to do what you want to do, everything will be fine. As far as this idea that you're going to get a green card and take them back, that's just, I don't even contemplate that. It's just, and the women don't want a green card. Generally speaking, the women, especially in Thailand, they're more than happy. They want to stay in Thailand with their families. That's the general rule. Okay, they're very family orientated here. They have a very strong family, and the young family members take care of the parents in their old age, and that's one of the main reasons why they don't want to go anywhere. Is that they want to take care of their older their parents, their elderly, and you know, they also want to have babies, so that the parents can, you know, look after the babies and play with the babies and whatnot. So it's all very much a family-oriented culture, and they have special family days. I mean, they have, you know, like, there's Mother's Day, there's Father's Day, and there's Children's Day, right? So, you know, you don't get that in the West, but yeah, it's this idea that you're going to be making them do things they don't want to do, and that they're only marrying you for a green card. Absolute rubbish. Absolute. This woman's living in a fantasy world.
You want to know what your problem is? Your entire life you were told that skinny is good and fat is the worst possible thing that you could be. You're not able to wrap your head around fat people being comfortable in the skin that they're in because you're uncomfortable in the skin that you're in. Fat women wearing outfits that you won't even wear because you're ashamed of your stretch marks. They wouldn't even give you a second look. The truth is, fat was never a bad thing. And once we figure that out, you'll never be able to put us back in that box again. You can have it. I'm sure it'll be a much better fit for you.
I just have this mental image of trying to put this land whale in a box. Just like, what the hell is this woman on about? Yeah, okay, you can get some overweight people in Asia. You can. There are some here. You very rarely see them. Okay, but there are some. But okay, I'll give you a little insight into things here compared to the West, in it. So, if you go shopping, and like honestly, passport bros, listen to this, okay? If you come to Bangkok, get off the plane and like you book your plane ticket, right? Land in Suvarnabhumi Airport, which is an excellent airport. Book yourself 1 or 2 nights in a 5-star hotel in Bangkok. Okay, Nana is a good area because it's very close to Soi Cowboy, which is one of the red light districts in Thailand, and they've got like the 5-star hotels right there, so it's a really good spot. Get off the plane, get to your hotel, unpack, have a shower, have a little sleep if you need it, and then head down to the Soi Cowboy. Get into a bar. Before you actually enter the door, the bar girls will be waiting for you, and they will entertain you for the night. The next day, get in a taxi and have a drive around. Go for a tour around Bangkok. Count the Porsche shops. Count the Lamborghini shops where you can buy Lamborghinis. Count the Rolls Royce outfits and the Range Rovers and all that. Like it's, if you think you're coming to a third world country, stop thinking that, because it's not where you're going. You've got everything you can possibly want here in Thailand. Okay, so don't think that. Now, I mean, what was this? What was this woman saying? Oh yeah, we were putting her in a box. Yeah. Okay. So, as you wander around the shopping malls in Bangkok, okay, you'll see displays for clothing shops. Look at the clothing shops. Look at the mannequins in the clothing shops. Okay, and quite often you will see a half mannequin, so there'll just be a pair of jeans on display in the shop. Stop, turn around, and have a look at the women that you see wearing jeans. 60% of the women, maybe 70% of the women will be the same size as that mannequin or smaller. Right, you will see that, like similar pairs of jeans on the women around you, and they will be as good or better than that mannequin. Right? Now, you do the same thing in any Western country. Go into a shop, have a look at a pair of jeans on a mannequin, and then turn around and have a look at the women around you wearing jeans. I am prepared to put money on it that you will not see a pair of jeans on a woman that looks anything like the pair of jeans that you see on that mannequin. Right? You'll see fucking muffin tops and thighs bulging and asses fucking hanging out. You know, it's the most disgusting thing you can possibly imagine. And over here in Asia, you don't get it. You do not. In my view, those mannequins in the West are false advertising. Absolutely. You know, the women over here look just like what you get in the clothing stores, or better. You know, and it's just one of the delights of shopping in Asian countries. Believe me.
Someone who comes from one of these third world countries that men go to pick up women, we know they're losers. We know that they go over there because they cannot get anyone in here. And if these men go over there thinking that these women want to build a family with them, that these passport bros want these women for sex, these women want them for money. And again, they deserve to be scammed. We know they're losers. We know that they cannot get any women in here. That's why they go over there. And the same thing with the women. But let's not worry.
Oh, well. Oh, who knew? All the passport bros are losers who can't get women in the West. Oh, geez, hey, how about that? I didn't think that was the case. I was thinking that the passport bros were the men who've woken up to the fact that there's nothing, that the women in the West have got no value, that they're not worth the squeeze. There's just, they've got nothing to offer. And the women in the East, well, they've got everything to offer, you know. Yeah, that was my opinion. I didn't realise that the passport bros were all just losers who couldn't get women. Strange. It's funny how you have these opinions about things that you know nothing about. As you can see, I'm in Asia. I don't know if you can recognise the Asian aspects of this scenery. I mean, there's some eucalyptus trees there, and just along here, which is Australian, but those are Asian-looking chickens down there, and that's some Asian-looking water pumps there, and cows and stuff. And hang on a minute, there's a couple of Asians sitting over there by that motorbike. That's my sister-in-law and her husband. So, yeah, how would I know anything about it? Huh? Oh, maybe I'm just a loser. Who knows?
Sir, on behalf of all black women everywhere, we absolutely do not give one solitary about you going to another country and finding a wife. Please go choose somebody else. And it never ends the way that y'all think it does. And I really feel sorry for those women. And so if they're willing to pump it up, because we know that little thing don't work no more, if they're willing to pump it up for y'all, have at it. Have a great day.
Well, I didn't realise that the African American women had elected a spokesperson to speak on their behalf. Well, I didn't get the memo. I missed the election. I was stuck out here in the middle of nowhere in Southeast Asia. I guess that's what you get, right? But she may well have just been self-appointed, or perhaps she's just self-opinionated. I think that's more likely. I can assure the passport bros that if you are serious about getting over here and getting a wife, and you keep your eyes and ears open, and maybe talk to some of the expats who live here, you can end up very, very happy. Believe me. Now, I've got a mate in Australia I'm going to go and see shortly, and my wife is determined that he gets over here, and she's got 2 or 3 women that she's going to present to him when he gets here. She's lined them up. They want foreign husbands, and she's going to this is her word, she's going to present these women to him and in the hope that he will want a woman to look after him. And this is the thing, if you passport bros are serious, you get hold of someone who's already in country, and get them to get you in touch with the real, what Aussies would say, fair dinkum women who are looking for husbands who've been vetted. Like I know one of the women that he's talking about. That my wife's talking about. I mean, she is a really, really lovely girl. I call her a girl. She's old. My mate's old, but this girl's she's been working in the rice farm her whole life. She's never married, never had a boyfriend. She's good looking, and wants a foreign husband. She's not interested in the Thai men. So, and she's she absolutely dress her up and put her in a little black dress. You'd have at least a 7.5, maybe 8 on your hands. And cook, clean, take care of you. Yep. So yeah, these women are quite happy for you to go by the sounds of it. That's what they keep saying, and they wish you luck. So yeah, go for it, fellas. Get your passports and get going. There's a couple of girls in the next village over from mine here. Just while I'm on the subject, so there's passport bros in your mid-20s. There's a couple of girls there. I saw, like, just a few days ago now, I saw one of them all dressed up, walking along the street with a little dog, and this girl would be maybe 18 years old, I think, and when I say dressed up, if you actually spent some money on her and got her a decent little black number or little red number for that matter, because red goes well with their skin, she would be a 9 without any problem whatsoever. This girl, she's take your breath away, stunning, unbelievably beautiful, everything firm and in the right place. Just an absolute stunner. And last night I was going to that village, to the supermarket there to get something for my girl, and got off the motorbike, and here's this young one appeared from out of nowhere. Turns out she lives right next to the supermarket, and I followed her into the shop, and she was wearing really baggy clothing, and had just hair just sort of pulled up loosely, just no effort whatsoever made in her appearance, right? And just like that, she would have been a 7.5 or 7, no problem. And I mean, she looked like she'd just finished work, or I don't know what. She was definitely like just baggy clothing, rough as everything, but just absolutely beautiful features. And scrub her up, put a nice dress on her, you could take her anywhere, absolutely take her anywhere. Just absolutely amazing. About 5'6", weighed probably something on the order of 42 kilo, 43 kilo. Long wand-like limbs, hands and real graceful movements. Oh, she was absolutely beautiful. And like I say, scrub her up, you take her anywhere. And this is in rural Thailand, in the middle of nowhere, You wait till you get to Bangkok. Oh, Jesus.
Well, there it is. When you're out of ammo, just take the easy way out and go for the low-hanging fruit of a guy's junk. Call him a limp biscuit, a wet noodle, a rumpled foreskin. I'm sure they'll actually hurt his feelings so bad he won't want to leave anymore. Just like I'm sure he'll totally believe that you don't care if he does. I mean, you don't sound mad or anything. So that's the end of the insults, but in case you lost track, here's a recap. Men that look in other countries for love are undesirable losers. They're pedophiles whose only interest is purchasing children so they can abuse, dehumanize, and enslave them, and turn them into breeding mares and domestic robots. These sick men give their poor and desperate women nothing but a wet behind, and all they care about is controlling and molesting their victims with defective junk that has to be inflated with a tire pump. But the women aren't angry or upset at all. No, of course not. They're happy to see you go. So at this point, does anyone still wonder why these guys want to escape? Well, at least one woman gets it.
If you actually look at a passport bro, which I know many of them, they are not going over there to grape and conquer. They are going over there because they are giving up over here. The reality is that there are too many women that are saying that they don't need men. Men want to be needed. They want to feel valued, like they are protectors. They say that they're tired trying to find a woman in the United States, let alone a metropolitan area like LA or New York, where women say, I don't need a man, go away, who do you think I am? My purpose in this is to defend the passport bros because they're not raping and pillaging and like doing anything crazy. They just want a traditional woman.
A couple of issues with what that woman has said. So it's not that the men are giving up on the Western women, right? That's not the reason in my experience and anecdotally with other MGTOW. MGTOW might be slightly different to a passport bro, but I think the red pill is a common factor in that regard. I would say that it's not that men are giving up. It's we're looking at Western women and we're saying no, thank you very much. This is not what I want. Right? It's about having standards, basically. The women are not worth. No, I'll put it another way. The Western women have no value. They do not add value to a man's life. They are liabilities. Right? And that is what it is. It's not giving up and any sort of defeatist attitude. That's not what men are doing. Men are just looking at what the women are like and going, what the fuck is this? I don't want it. And they're getting their passports. They've heard from other men that there's plenty of women in the East. Plenty of women in the East. Right? And this is a phenomenon that's happening all over the world. It's not just America. Right? It's Australia, New Zealand, it's Europe. The Eastern women are better. And one of the things is, it's not about a traditional woman. Right? This is not a movement towards traditional women. The Eastern women, and I can speak for the Thai women, they are brought up to be wives. Right? Just their culture, that's what their culture does. The Thai women want to get married and have babies. Right? And to look after the house. Right? They're the boss of the house, right? You build them a house and they maintain it, they look after it. And I mean, they'll do things like climb up on the roof and clean the roof. Right? It's not like they're all just domestic little robots. But the man is the head of the household. Right? So he takes on the role of head of the household, and the woman is the manager, if you like, of the household. It's a partnership and a duty and responsibility and accountability and being able to talk openly and honestly to the woman about what you want and how you plan to achieve it, and setting goals for the future and working along and like it's so uncomplicated. It's not complicated. Like in the West, everything's complicated. It's always complicated. Women are so complicated. In the East, it's nothing like that. Everything just falls into place. Very, very simple. And that's what men want. Peace, simplicity, quiet. That's what you want, and that's what you get in the East. You don't get it in the West.
And that's basically it. The passport bros are coming here for the exact same reason that so many other guys do. They just want to find a partner that loves them. And they've discovered a way to make it happen.
Like, you see that girl? She was so pretty. I'm like, I understand why they're going.
Listen,
like she's beautiful.
I'm going to say this, and that woman made it specific to race. But we already saw that from the previous video. Men from Europe are also doing the same thing, right? Really like from the Piers video, like, you know, European men are doing the same thing. So, right, because I already know people can be like, oh my God, we're talking about black issues. This is not a black issue, folks. Okay, it's not a black issue because if you read that, or if you saw the other video, it's not a black issue. I'm going to ask this to the women. Do you want to get married? And if you do you think that you're wife material?
Where do we start? I'm let someone else.
You want to get married?
I want to get married.
Do you think you're wife material?
No, I don't think I'm wifey material now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not wifey material at all. Like, with cooking and stuff. Like, because I live with my parents. So, like, my mother is like the person who's in charge of the whole household. She cooks and everything. So I don't think I'd be a materialistic wife now. Maybe in the future, yeah.
Are you trying to learn to be a wife?
I think in the future, I would definitely try to learn. But for now, I'm just like YOLO. I don't really care about I don't know. I can't cook.
It's a wrap.
I cannot cook. I can't even crack an egg.
How old are you?
She's learning. But I don't care. At least I can clean.
So,
that's all that matters.
So I don't know what YOLO means, but 18, lives at home, doesn't intend to get married in the near future, can't cook, can clean. So this is probably an old man's perspective, and this is an old man that can cook. Okay, make no mistake about that. I can cook better than any woman I've ever met. What I can't do is cook Thai food as well as my girl can. So she does a lot of the cooking here, but I've taught her how to cook Italian and all that kind of stuff, so she does quite well. The problem with not being able to cook is that you don't understand nutrition. And if you don't understand nutrition, you can't bring up children. Right? The children are malnourished or fed on junk food. And they're on the back foot from a very early age because they're just not getting the right nutrition. So that's the issue with cooking. When a woman can't cook, there's no way she can run a household. Oh, she can run the house. She can clean, apparently. Or she's probably got all the machines that will help her do all that. The washing machine and the vacuum cleaner and whatnot. So it's hardly saying much. But here in Thailand, at 18, most of the girls are getting married. Right? They at high school they'll meet their future husband, and they'll leave school, he'll get a job, they'll get married, and she'll move into the husband's house and live with the husband's parents a lot of the time until they can afford to build their own house, and then they'll build their own house right next door to the parents' house normally. So, I mean, that's the way things go over here. So there's, that's a traditional Thai way of doing it. So there's no hoe phase that this young girl's looking forward to her hoe phase by the sounds of it, and you don't get that here. Promiscuity is against their Buddhist traditions. It's one of the 5 main pillars of Buddhism is no promiscuity. So that doesn't really enter into the picture, which makes the women of far more valuable than anything you'll get in the West. You know? Oh, Jesus.
Did you say you were 27?
No.
I'm
18. So now I'm just like YOLO, because I'm not going to get
She's got a
married.
lot of years to catch up.
But yeah, I've got a lot of years to,
Ladies, okay, you're 18. Do you think you're wife material? Do you think you're wife material?
Do I think I'm wife material?
Yeah.
I do think I'm wife material, but I also think that that's quite subjective. So I think men might find wife material to different men is going to be different things. They might look for different things in a wife. Do you know what I mean? But if you're asking me if I'm wife material, I'd say yeah, I think I'm wife material.
What do you think makes you wife material?
So I think a lot of those like feminine attributes that we spoke about earlier, so being nurturing, being caring, allowing yourself to be led by the right man. Yeah, and I want to take care of my man. I want to take care of my home. I want to take care of my family. Those are all things that I want to do, and I think those are all things that can fall under being good wife material.
So the lady on the video, the Filipina P, shout out to the Filipina P.
It's like, that's going to be my wife.
No, I'm not into Filipino women, but it's just, whatever. She understands what it is, or the women generally in those countries, it seems like they generally understand what it is that men want in a wife. Okay?
Right.
Do you think you can compete with women like that?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
You are absolutely delusional if you think you're any competition whatsoever to these women over here. Absolutely self-deluded. And look, come over. Get your passports and come over and see what happens. And I've spoken about this with many, many men from many, many countries who have come to Thailand, and they've seen this over and over again. What happens is these women, they get off the plane and they get into their hotel and they think they're going to go on some sort of big shopping safari, or they're going to get some sort of spiritual understanding or something from their visit to Thailand. And what happens is within 1 week, they are totally shell-shocked. They don't know what has hit them, because the Thai men want absolutely nothing to do with them, nothing whatsoever. And the Western men who come over here, who may be potentially boyfriend material for these girls, maybe a holiday fling or something like that, within a day or two of being here, the men have had a taste of the Thai women, and they are absolutely uninterested in the Western women. And by the end of the week, the end of the first week, the Western women have lacked attention from every man around them completely. Like there's just that they might as well not exist, and they are absolutely shell shocked. They don't know what's hit them, and or why. For most of us, and then you see them at the airport on their way home, and they're just, it's hard to describe, but they're kind of in a shell, and they'll look at you hoping that you'll look at them, and then you don't. I don't know what it is, but maybe I'm not looking at them the right way or something, but they just head down, shake their head, stomp off. They're really upset, and it's like it is all of them. It's not just one or two. It's all of the Western women. They've got no idea what they're up against when it comes to Eastern women. No idea, and they are not competition. They've got nothing against the Eastern women. They have absolutely nothing. Nothing. Doesn't matter what they look like. That It's not going to happen. The Eastern women don't see them as competition. No way. I was years ago now. There was a Pommy guy who got married to a Thai girl, and he actually took her back to England. Stupid man. But they had a wedding reception over here, and he had his young brothers and cousins and friends over with their girlfriends. They brought their English girlfriends over with them, and we were sitting down at the reception. We're sitting down having a few drinks and some food, and the Thai girls were, and these girls were beautiful girls. Like, they were just unbelievable, and they were coming up to these young men and asking them to dance in front of their girlfriends, right? And the men didn't know what had hit them. They just like their girls would have been, 4 or 5 on the Richter scale, and these young Thai girls were easily above that, easily 6, 7, 8, and asking, all dressed up, like really beautifully dressed in Western clothes, just outshone these frumpy English girls, and the guys were kind of looking at each other sideways, and they wanted to say yes, but of course they couldn't in front of their girls. That would have been a disaster, and so for the Thai women, the Western women are just absolutely no competition whatsoever, and they see them as that, So, yeah.
Yes. You don't know me though, so how can you say that?
No,
I wasn't talking. I was talking to you.
Fair.
You haven't seen me in my home.
Many?
You haven't seen me.
You have kids, don't you?
Yeah.
How many?
Just 2.
How would you compete with a single childless woman?
Is she single and childless?
Filipino,
yeah. Okay, well, I guess so, as Tanisha said, subjectively.
I didn't say wife material. So you said you.
I thought you were talking in terms of like wife material in the aspects of being in your feminine. You're talking about just purity. If that is the only standard that we're talking about, then obviously not, because I've got 2 children.
Word of advice to men everywhere. If you hear the woman say, in your feminine or in her feminine, run. Okay, just put it down, gently back away and run. It's, that's just the biggest red flag. I'll give you a tip. There is not one feminine woman on that couch. Right? I know what they look like, and they don't look like that. So, yeah. If you're in your feminine, run.
So I can't compete with purity, no.
Do you know what I've got to say? I don't think women in the West. I think one of the reasons why men are opting to go abroad to find wives, women in the West don't value marriage, and a lot of them say that they like marriage and they want to get married, but they don't value them. And the reason why I say that is because in the West, marriage is a TV show. 90 Day Fiancé. Love at first.
As many of you know, I was just banned on TikTok, and we are demonetized on a daily basis on this platform. If you want to help, please consider sending a super thanks below. Every donation helps, and it helps make what we do possible.